Hi Batlings, hello, hello. I'm back officially, and I think I'm pretty much not sick anymore. My throat's still a little messed up, but you know, I just gotta deal with that, I guess. anyway, anyway, hello. We are going to talk about Vegas finally. I've wanted to ever since I got back, but then, I got sick, so I couldn't really. Let me get background music. Sitting in silence. And I took quite a few pictures. So I can share, I think, most of them. No. I do have some of them. Let me find them. I put them all in a folder because I thought that would be easier. So when I first got there, oh shit, I'm lagging already. I really need to fix my computer or whatever's happening with it. Anyway. Okay, that sounds probably not good. Anyway, probably fine. I'll figure it out. I took a ton of pictures. I actually ran out of storage space when I was in Vegas and I had to delete a bunch of games off my phone because I didn't have enough space. I put them all in like out of order. I'm trying to find the first one that I took. This definitely isn't the first one, but whatever. Good enough for now. Oh, okay, it fixed itself. Thank you. Anyway. So, here, let me move out of the way. I mostly didn't take a lot of pictures, and especially not a lot of videos because I felt like that was rude. Like, I felt like it's kind of rude to just be taking pictures and videos all the time. Especially videos, because you gotta stand there for a bit to take those. So I was like, I don't really want to take a video because I feel like that's kind of rude to make people stand there. So when I first got there, I stayed at the Paris hotel. I took a picture of the room. I think I managed to do this before I set everything down. So this is my room at the Paris hotel. It was pretty nice. But I didn't realize that they still allowed smoking like everywhere else besides the casino. Because I was under the impression that if you weren't in the casino, then you couldn't smoke. Which I think the Paris did have that rule because it only really smelled like smoke in the casino. But I did see people walking around smoking in other places besides the casino. So I've only been to Vegas one other time besides this time, and it was when I was relatively young, so I feel like things are really different. And also, I didn't stay in Vegas the first time that I went. I just, kind of just drove around. And we only went in one of the casinos, I think, because I was with my family. We went in one of the casinos, but we didn't stay very long because, I was pretty little. So I was like, this is my first time actually staying in Vegas. I didn't gamble the whole time. This might surprise you guys, but I didn't gamble the whole time. I wasn't even tempted or anything. Like, I don't know, seeing the slot machines, I was kind of like, I don't know, it just looks kind of sad. So, I managed to not gamble. Yeah, pretty much. And like I said, the room was nice. I was on a non-smoking floor. I think they might all be non-smoking now. I'm not entirely sure. But I know my floor was non-smoking. Which was good for me because it got pretty bad sometimes. And overall, like I said, it was nice. There's not that much to say about it. It was a pretty average hotel room. I didn't actually take that many pictures of the hotel itself. I just... I wanted like a themed room because I was like, well, I'm gonna go to Vegas. There's all these themed hotels. I might as well get like one that's kind of themed, right? And I feel like they should go all out. I feel like they should really lean into it because you're in Vegas. It's not like you need like the Hilton look, you know? I feel like it's cheap to do that. Hospice themed room. No. I know I did take a few other pictures of the hotel itself. Let me see if I can find those. I took a bunch of pictures of other hotels, but not really mine, because I didn't think it was that interesting. There's the one that I used for the thumbnail, which is a pretty cool picture. They had the Eiffel Tower restaurant, but I didn't go to it because it was like it had a dress code and I didn't bring any fancy clothes. So I was like, yeah, they're probably not gonna let me in. Oh, here it is. But the Paris hotel, I mean, on the outside it's pretty nice. I feel like... Why did it saved as a JPEG and then as a WebP? What? Yeah, I don't really get why they have restaurants with dress codes in Vegas of all places, but I don't know. I guess some people bring fancy clothes. Oh wait, oh shit, that's huge. Hold on, let me resize it. My phone takes gigantic pictures. Hello. Vegas was good. Alright, this is a vertical picture because I took most of my pictures vertical. So this was on the outside of the hotel. I did have a view of the Eiffel Tower, but the window in my room was really dirty. So I didn't take that many pictures of it because I was like, I don't know, it just looks kind of nasty. So, you know, I have a few pictures of it, but not that many. And also I didn't get in the pool because I had a view of the pool and it just didn't look that good. I brought my parasol with me, don't worry. What a great sign of quality. That was a common theme throughout Vegas though, like every hotel I stayed at, well, I only stayed in 2, but both of the hotels I stayed at had really nasty windows. And I heard that that's just like a common thing. Like they just don't clean the windows in hotels in Vegas. And I was like, oh, okay. Which I guess it kind of makes sense because there's all those giant buildings and they have like 500 floors essentially. So I don't know. Wearing shorts and Crocs as socks. I was wearing jeans the whole time. I can't risk the sun touching me, you know. And also my my Crocs I had left at one of the hotels and they had to mail them back to me. So, you know, that was fun. Which hotel did you go to? I went to the Paris and then I stayed at like a Marriott in Santa Fe, I think. And then when I came back to Vegas, I stayed at New York. Any nightmare stories with kids in this vacation too? There was someone's child that like ran off from them and ran up to me. And I was like, I'm not like your parent. I don't know this kid. And I had to help the kid go back to their parents, which their parents weren't that far away, but I was still just kind of like, huh? No real reason to see outside when all the slot machines are inside. That's true. That's true. Did anyone compliment your Crocs? No. No. Unfortunately, no. I was thinking I should have stayed in Excalibur, the King Arthur themed hotel, because I kept getting an Uber over there like all the time because I kept doing stuff over there instead of actually doing things in my hotel. I had a parasol, guys. I had a parasol. That's how I survived outside. It wasn't that unusual, actually. It was like 100 degrees outside. So multiple people had them. Surprised you didn't kick the kid? Come on, come on. Give me a little bit of credit, at least. The first night I was there, I kind of got scammed, in a way. So I went to... Let me see if I can save this without it being gigantic. I went to the Gordon Ramsay steak restaurant. And like, it was not that great. It was not that great. Which, here, let me pull up the picture of the outside. Oh, it's really small. So this is what it looked like on the outside. And I thought it'd be a cool place. Yes, it is. It is. I don't know what that was. I don't think I actually ate what was on the side. Even though I guess I should have, because the steak was like... I don't remember exactly how much it was. I think it was like $100 something. So I was like, okay, I could have one really fancy meal, and then the rest of the time it has to be pretty casual. Because that was all I could afford. Which, I mean, it was a good steak, but my exact thoughts were like, I felt like I had tasted the exact same steak somewhere else before for cheaper. Like, it felt so familiar, and I was sure I've had this exact steak somewhere before, and it was not like $100 something. And also the atmosphere, I don't know if I took many pictures of the inside. I think I just wore a t-shirt because they didn't say anything, so. Should have stayed at an MGM hotel. That's what I was thinking, because the more research I did into it, I was like, yeah, I should have stayed at MGM. Because all the Caesars places were kind of, you know. Walmart frozen steak dinner. I mean, it wasn't bad per se, but it just wasn't like, it wasn't worth the price. And as I was saying, the atmosphere was kind of weird because you walk in and it's kind of like, it's almost like a club. Like it's bright red on the inside. You can kind of see from like the light that's in there. It's like kind of a dark red, the entire interior. And there's like super loud music. And I was like, am I about to have a fancy dinner, or like people gonna start like getting up and dancing? Which the really loud music was kind of annoying because at some points I couldn't hear my waiter or my friends over the music, and I had to be like, what? Huh? I mean, I didn't mind it too much, but I was just kind of like, this is kind of a weird atmosphere to have for like a really fancy restaurant. Which, like, the steak itself was fine, I think. I did take a picture of it, not that one. Because I mean, it was okay. It was like 8 ounces, I think. Which is a pretty decent amount. Usually I get a 6-ounce steak because I don't eat that much. So I mean, for 8 ounces, I mean, the price is pretty bad, but you know. Did you check the reviews later? I had checked a few reviews beforehand and they just said it was overpriced. And I was like, well, it's Vegas. Everything's overpriced in Vegas. I was thinking maybe I should have tried Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen, that restaurant, because I was like, maybe that'll be better because that's like, you know, his thing. But I don't know. I don't even know what they have. I thought about getting a dessert there, but they just didn't have that much that was actually good. It looked small in the picture, but it was pretty decently sized, I feel like. So I mean, it wasn't horrible. Yeah, you had to order sides separately. And I think the sides that I got, me and my friends, we went. Me and my friends got a side of, like, I think Parmesan, no, like truffle fries. And then, it may not have even been truffle fries. I think they were just regular fries. But, we got a side of fries, and then we got a side of mac and cheese. And I think they were like $20 each. One of them might have been 30. It was insane though. I was like, Jesus, why do we have to pay for like everything? I was like, you can't even give me a few fries with my steak? Come on. And yeah, they had mac and cheese at a Gordon Ramsay restaurant. It did seem a little weird. Did they put diamonds in there? No. And like the mac and cheese was dry, so I didn't eat that much of it. The French fries, they were just okay. They were just like your typical French fries. We also ordered like some bread to try. There were 3 different kinds of bread. There was one that was kind of like, I don't know what it's called, but it's like the kind of bread they give you at Italian restaurants, you know? I thought that one was pretty good. They had a second one that was like muffin looking almost. It was really spongy and I didn't really care for it. I don't think I took a picture of it. I should have, but I didn't. It was like garlic bread without the garlic. And then they had a third kind of bread that was like flat and like very stiff. It was just okay. None of it was really that great. So I wasn't super impressed with Mr. Ramsay's restaurant. Yeah, just bread. Overall, I mean, it was a meal. It was an experience. At first, I have really bad table manners. I didn't get my like napkin out and put it over my lap because, you know, you're supposed to do that in proper table manners and everything. Because I had just been sitting there talking with my friends and the waiter came over and he like unfolded my napkin. He was like, excuse me, and he just put it over my lap and I was like, oh, my bad. Should have yelled, it's dry to the staff. I feel like they would have kicked me out for that. Should have stolen something. I think they would have noticed, probably. And, I mean, they did give me, like, a bag at the end, but it was just kind of like a, you know, usual... I don't think it was paper, but something similar to paper. Some kind of, like, paper-like bag. And I was like, oh, well, that's nice, I guess. Not worth the, like, $300 or $400 we spent, but yeah. And, like, it was also super crowded in there. Like, all the tables were super packed together, and I was like, this is a really weird environment to be in. Like I said, it just wasn't that great. And after that, I went to bed. I think that was, maybe not, was it Saturday night? It probably was Saturday night. They did. Going back there next time? Probably not. It just wasn't worth it. I think the next day we went to a bunch of the different hotels. Like, we went and looked around at a bunch of hotels. Because I have a bunch of pictures of Caesar's Palace and the Venetian. Which, I mean, Caesar's Palace looked pretty nice, not gonna lie. Here, I'll show some of them. I do wanna, well, I've been thinking about making a video, like a vlog kind of styled video about my trip to Vegas, but I was like, I don't know if I really have enough actual video to justify it. Because I didn't take that much video since, like I said, I thought it'd be kind of rude. So this was inside Caesars. I think it was in like the shopping area. Of course, every hotel in Vegas, as soon as you walk in, like they make you walk through the casino. Because they want you to spend your money there, of course. Which, like, I get it. But at the same time, can you not, you know, make a path around it? Which, Caesars was cool. I don't know if I'd want to stay there. I think the rooms are just kind of, like, meh. They're not really my style. Like I said, I wanted to stay in themed rooms. Could just do a simple montage with the photos. That's kind of what I was thinking, and have like a bit of voiceover talking about it. The high roller? No, but I did do zip lining, but we will get to that later. I'm trying to go in order. Clearly main attraction. I mean, all the stuff in Caesars, I feel like the shopping stuff, a lot of it was like designer, and you know, I don't have the money to buy designer stuff. And even if I did, I'm not really interested in that kind of thing. So like, you know, I didn't really care for any of it. I just kind of walked by it and I was like, oh cool, they have like a Rolex store. There were people taking pictures of the windows at the Rolex store, and I was like, have these people like never seen a designer watch before? Like, okay, I get it, but also at the same time, like it's not that big of a deal, is it? Got any themed room references? I like rooms that are themed and like, you know, go all out. It's not enough to just have like a picture in there or something. I guess I do, but like, I feel like that's different from designer stuff. And here, I'll go through a few more of the pictures. Oh wait, these are at the Venetian. I didn't take that many pictures inside Caesars. I accidentally got a random guy in this one. Sorry to whoever this guy is in the bottom right of the picture. I tried to take most pictures without people in them, but it didn't work out for me sometimes. So would you stay at that one haunted clown motel? Probably not. I've seen it, so I know what you're talking about. Is he the VTuber? Yeah, that's me, guys. That's actually me. So this was outside the Venetian. I think the Venetian's a super nice hotel. I didn't want to stay there though, because like I was looking at the rooms, and the rooms at the Venetian are kind of weird. Like, I don't think they have any 2 queen bedrooms. which is usually what I get when I go places with my friends. Because at the Venetian, their rooms have like a bed and then it kind of like steps down into a living area. And I was like, man, I don't want to sleep on a couch for a week. I want an actual bed. So I was like, yeah, I'm not going to stay there because I want to get an actual bed and not sleep in a couch. And I probably could have splurged for like a suite at one of the places I stayed, but the suites usually have like one bed and then a couch. So, you know, it kind of falls into the same problem. I just didn't want to sleep on a couch because I was like, you know, this is a pretty big trip. It's not like I'm going for like a weekend. If I hadn't been staying that long, I would have been fine with it. But if I had stayed like a week sleeping on a couch, my back would probably be hurting really bad. And then the Venetian also had a lot more shopping stuff that I liked. And they had like I think they're called gondolas, right? The boats? I don't know. Whatever those are. I didn't actually do them because it was too expensive. But I kind of wanted to. So this was inside the Venetian. Yes, okay. Are there any anime themed stuff in Vegas? There's a few like anime stores, but there's no actual anime themed stuff. Unless you count the Excalibur, but you know, that's not really the same. Could have just swam. I feel like they'd probably kick you out for that. Yeah, a lot of the shopping areas are really pretty. I really like when they do like the fake sky and make it look like a city. Like it feels a little dystopian, but but it is nice. It is nice. And they had some pretty nice stuff in there. They had shops in there that weren't just designer things. I actually had to buy a phone charger because like the moment I got to Vegas, I started to plug my phone in and my charger that I had just broke. And I was like, oh shit, well I need to charge my phone. So I had to run to an Apple store. And I had to buy like an official Apple charger because the last one I had was a like bootleg one. So I had to get an iPhone charger from the Apple store. And then I felt like an idiot because I was walking around with like a big Apple bag and I was like, someone's gonna think I bought like a phone and it's just a fucking charger. And of course, you know, my paranoia, I was like, what if someone tries to take it from me because they think I have a phone or something? True that the Apple store is like $500 for the charger. The charger was like $30, so it wasn't too bad, but it's more expensive than I would usually pay for a charger. But I was like, I just really need a charger because I didn't want my phone to die because I was using my phone for like everything. Because, you know, I had to get Ubers and everything because I did get a rental car, but it was just so much more convenient to Uber everywhere with the traffic and everything. I was just scared. I mean, Vegas, they have some crime, you know? Could have walked. There was actually a lot of construction on the strip, so a bunch of stuff I couldn't actually walk to because some of the sidewalks were blocked off. And maybe there were ways around it, but I just didn't feel like going the extra mile. And I was like, man, I'll just pay like $12 for an Uber. And I think maybe this day I might have gone to Circus. I think that might have been Monday. I went to Circus. I didn't really take any pictures inside Circus because I was like, you know, Circus is kind of nasty. I don't know if it's always had that reputation, but I feel like for the longest time, Circus has been seen as like the nasty hotel. And the reason I went there was because they had the SpongeBob like dark ride, which opened in like April, I think. And I was like, I really want to go ride it. So I spent $12 to ride the SpongeBob like shooter dark ride. It was pretty fun. There was no one else on it except for me. And I feel like I was kind of afraid that the employees would judge me. Because, you know, I was like a grown woman walking onto this SpongeBob ride. But they were just like, hey, how are you, miss? And I was like, I'm good. They were super friendly. You know, yeah, my friends didn't want to pay $12 to ride SpongeBob with me. They were like, you can ride it by yourself, but we're not gonna pay to ride that. It's like, okay. So I did it. I played it because it was like a shooter kind of thing, kind of like Men in Black at Universal, if you guys know what that is. Please tell me you went to the cool gaming arcades. I don't think I really did. I know there was one in Area 15 where Omega Mart was, but I didn't go in there because, yeah, it was mostly advertised as like a bar, and I was like, I don't really want to go to a bar. Yes, Las Vegas is in Nevada. With your SpongeBob Crocs, they could have confused you with a child. That's so mean. Hope you asked them to take pictures of you. No. I did take a picture of my score, which was like 100,000 something on the SpongeBob ride. And I was like, wow, that's way more than I thought I would get. It was relatively fun. It was like, you know, a simple dark ride for kids. Had more effort put into it than I thought it would, though. Like, they actually had a few animatronics, and I was like, damn. I thought they were just gonna be screens the whole time. Which even the screens, like, the animations were nice and everything. And they had the original voice actors, stuff like that. So it was pretty fun. Hello. She showed up when she played games. Well, I don't play a lot of shooter games. I think I also have this picture, which I'm pretty sure is also from the Venetian. I have more pictures that I haven't gotten off of my phone yet, so maybe if I run out of pictures, I'll just start going through those. Even though my tracking will be fucked up, because I'll have to go to my phone for that. But this is also inside the Venetian. The inside of the Venetian is really nice, but like I said, it just didn't have like a good enough room for me. Because I wanted 2 beds. I wanted somewhere to sleep and not be on a couch. What type of phone? I think I have like an iPhone. I think it's the 14. iPhone 14 Pro, maybe? I don't know, it's one of those. I upgraded for free like a year or 2 ago. I think 2 years now. I was like, yeah, I'll just keep this phone for a while. I guess Vegas uses the casino profits for good. Sometimes. Sometimes. It was pretty neat inside the Venetian. And then that's also where I went to eat at the spaghetti place. The place that had the spaghetti. Which I'll show it again. Also, it was like a special deal that they had for Restaurant Week. Which I didn't even know was a thing, because we walked into the restaurant and our waiter was like, we're participating in Restaurant Week. And I was like, oh, what's that? And they brought out a menu that rank which place is the best. I would say this place was the best out of all the places I went to eat. But he brought out a menu and they had a deal going on that was like, you could choose an appetizer, entree, and a dessert for $50, like for the whole meal. And I was like, oh, hell yeah. Of course I'm gonna take that. So I had a Caesar salad as my appetizer, the spaghetti for the entree. Partly because it was cheap. And then I had cheesecake for dessert, which I got to go, so I didn't take a picture of it. It was pretty good. It wasn't like the best cheesecake I've had, but it was pretty good. It was very, very good. It was really good. I almost thought about going to eat there again, but I was like, I don't know, I should really like, you know, diversify my options. And also I ate Italian like 3 times while I was there. So like, after the 3rd time, I was like, I really need to, you know, branch out. It was good though. I think the place was called Buddy V's Ristorante. I'm probably saying that really wrong, but it was good. It was good. And also I got a seat by the windows, which was nice. It was a pretty nice place overall. I clearly the authority to rank all the steaks and cheesecakes. I feel like spaghetti also because I have spaghetti a lot. Dirty windows. The windows were actually clean there, as far as I could tell. I wasn't sitting right next to the windows, but I think they were relatively clean. Next to windows equals exposure to sunlight. They had the curtains down. It was fine. I was okay. I was okay. And also I did bring sunscreen. So I think Monday was when I went to Circus. Pretty sure. And then on Tuesday, I went to... Actually, I don't know. I'm gonna have to check my email and make sure I have my timeline right. Let me see. What did you drink? I drank water pretty much the whole time I was there. I drank lots and lots of water. I have a bunch of confirmation emails about like stuff that I bought while I was there. Okay, that's not that, not that. So I went to a dinner show on, when was the 10th? That was like, oh, Monday night. Okay, so this must have been Sunday night. Yeah, I did a ton in Vegas, that's why. That's why I'm getting all my stuff mixed up. Did any strange people try to sell you stuff? There were people trying to sell me like hair products. Like I would walk by, you know, all those like salon places and they would be like, Miss, try our whatever, like shampoo. And I was like, no thanks. Most of the time I just straight up ignored them, which I did feel a little bit bad at first, but then I was like, it probably happens to them all the time. So this was Sunday night that I went to the Italian place. Is that insulting or complimenting? I guess that's a compliment. I don't know. On Monday, I went to the Tournament of Kings dinner show at Excalibur because I had seen it and I was like, I love medieval times, so I really want to do it. And this was also where I met the guy that was talking about being a VTuber. He was there at the dinner show. Yes, it's basically medieval times. You can see, it's basically medieval times. It was kind of cool. The table, the round table, I guess, lowers to like, you know, sit on the ground and then it goes back up, which I thought was pretty neat. Have a good night. Thank you for stopping by. The food there wasn't great. I did take a picture of it, but I don't feel like showing it right now. I don't feel like getting my phone and showing it right now, but I'll show it later. I'll show it later. Were you cheering for Astolfo to show up? No, I knew it was like the story of King Arthur. I was on the dragon team, which was kind of weird because every other team was like a country and then there was dragon. So I was on like the side of Mordred. This was not a solo trip. I went with some of my friends. I just don't talk about them a lot. Did he steal any of the weapons? No. No. So I was on Mordred's team. We almost won, but we lost at like the last second. I was really disappointed. But I had fun. I had fun. It was good. It was a really good show. Dragon Team is the place where leftover people went. I think it's just the team you go to if you want to be evil. There were quite a few people there actually, and I think we were pretty passionate. The whole night we were like screaming. And by the time I got out, my voice was hoarse because you know, they encourage you to like scream for your fighter, basically. Oh my god. I'm still not recovered. Okay, anyway. But they encourage you to scream about your fighter. So the whole time, I was screaming and like pounding on the table because they also wanted you to do that. And then I got out, my voice was hoarse. So is the show just like Arthurian legend stuff or like an improvised story? It was like... It was loosely based on the Arthurian legend. I think. Like, you know, it was King Arthur versus Mordred and like one of King Arthur's other sons. I don't really pay attention to the other ones, so I don't really, you know, I don't know if that was accurate. It was a good stress reliever, it was. Even though the whole time I was like, I wonder if this guy sitting next to me that says he's a VTuber knows who I am. That was a little scary, but besides that, it was fun. But like I said, it was like King Arthur versus Mordred. So it was loosely based on it. Even though I think like someone at some point killed King Arthur and he just like came back. Never explained how, he just like came back at the end. Not for like a final bow or anything, he was just kinda, he was there. Like alive. I doubt it, but he may know Iron Mouse. Well, yeah, but it's like, you know, you're always a little scared of that. The Holy Grail. I don't know. Like I said though, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. And then Tuesday was when I went to Area 15 to Omega Mart. I took a picture of one of the statues they had outside because I thought it was neat. I think also Excalibur's sheath keeps King Arthur from dying, but he lost it at some point, if I'm not mistaken. And that was how Mordred managed to kill him. I got way too into Fate. I'm still way too into Fate. Someone needs to draw pie and Dragon Team merch. Well, they didn't have anything like that. So this was outside Area 15. Basically, Area 15 just has a bunch of stuff to do in it. Like, there's a golfing place in there, Omega Mart's in there. I think there's a few other art exhibit kind of things. And I mean, it was a neat place. I also went to a restaurant that was in there after I got out of Omega Mart. It was called, it was called like The Beast. So we went to the Beast and it was good. It was good. My only complaint was it took a while for our waiter to actually like wait on us. We were sitting there for like 30 minutes and then I turned to my friends and I was like, is anyone ever gonna wait on us? Like we got seated and they just kind of forgot about us. The restaurant was called The Beast. I'm pretty sure that's what it was called. I mean, that's what all the signs said anyway. It was pretty good. It was like relatively decent food. I don't know, well, I don't know too much about the actual food because I just ordered a dessert. Because I wasn't that hungry and like they had a bunch of desserts listed and I was like, I'll just get dessert until dinner. They found out you were a VTuber and was like, yeah, let's wait. That would be so mean though. It would be so mean. More cake again? No, it was like a giant cookie. Surely you were running out of money at this point. I saved up a lot for this trip. And also for the flight, I had used points. Because I had a bunch of points from like flying places for work. So I just used those to get my flight pretty much for free, besides like a few fees. Subway footlong cookie? No, it was like a skillet cookie. Like in a giant skillet. And it had ice cream on top of it. It was pretty good. But also it was half baked. So I wasn't the biggest fan of that. I wish it was fully baked because I like my cookies crunchy. The Batlings fund was used for like, you know, extra things that I bought and wanted to do. Is by a flight attendant? No. Nothing like that. If I was a flight attendant, I would not be able to stream. But I go to a bunch of like conferences for work. Chilling in the cargo bay is pretty cost effective too. I feel like that would be a miserable time. But anyway. I went to Omega Mart. I took a ton of pictures. But I don't have all of them saved right here. I'll probably pull them up later. I just want to get through the whole timeline first. But I'll do like a basic run through. So like when you get in there, Omega Mart, I think it's the biggest thing in there. You get in there and Omega Mart is pretty much right there. And you go inside and it looks like a pretty regular grocery store. Mostly. Which I was kind of wondering if people go inside and ask if Omega Mart is a real grocery store. Because I feel like that's the thing that could happen, right? But I got inside and I was actually... Me and my friends were the first people inside because we got there super early and lined up super early. We had to wait like an hour to get in, but I got in there first. So I got to take a few pretty good pictures without like any people in them. I did have one picture of like the entrance of the store, but there's an employee in it, so I don't know if I'll actually post that anywhere. Alright, have a good night. Thank you for stopping by. And I know I posted one of the pictures. I did use a little bit of photo editing because I thought it looked a little bland by itself. Like in real life it looked really good, but some of my phone pictures made it look kind of dull on the inside for some reason. Which I guess kind of fits. Oh shit, why is it so big? Hold on. Didn't realize it was gigantic. Okay. So this was part of the inside of Omega Mart, which I know I posted on Twitter. The like sandals that you can see behind me, they were actually things you could buy. but I didn't buy those. I bought a mug and a t-shirt. And they had a bunch of other stuff. I think the way they had it, like, distinguish on if you could actually buy things or not is if it had like a real price tag on it. Because there were fake price tags and then there were like real price tags that looked like, you know, normal price tags. So anything that had a real price tag on it, you could actually buy. I thought it was super neat though. I've wanted to go to Omega Mart for a really, really long time. So I'm really glad that I actually got to go and experience it. No, I had a lot of fun. There were a lot of people, which I didn't really like, but you know, that's not the fault of people behind it or anything. And there were a lot of people there that didn't seem to know what Omega Mart was. Like, I was doing something, I think I talked about this a bit, but I was doing something related to like the story, because Omega Mart and all the other Meow Wolf places, they do have a storyline to go along with the location. So I was like trying to figure it out, and I was in a phone booth like calling up numbers to listen to them. I'm sorry, I think I'm still a little bit sick. Or I'm just getting choked because I'm too excited, but... Anyway. Thank you. I was listening to, like, stuff from... about the lore. And... I know. I think I'm getting too excited, and I'm, like, not... breathing correctly. Anyway. So I was doing something. I know, it's embarrassing. But I was doing something related to the lore, and this guy came up like behind me, and he tapped me on the shoulder. And I was like, I was really confused at first because I thought it was one of my friends. And I turned around and there was just like this guy that I didn't know. And I was like, do you need something? And he was like, what is this place? And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, is this like a game or something? And I was like, man, you bought the tickets. Like, did you not know what it was? I feel like you should do research before you buy tickets to anything, not just like, you know, buy them. Especially because tickets were like $50 a person. So it feels like you would do a little more research into it. And my actual response to him was like, oh, you know, it's like an art exhibit and there's a story underneath. And he was like, so how do I find out about the story? And I was like, I don't know, man, just walk around. And he was like, oh, okay. And just walked away. I was like, okay, that was kind of a strange interaction. I don't think he was that old. He was maybe like 30 or 40. Probably around his 30s. I mean, that's what you do though. Literally what you do is just walk around. You just gotta walk around and like, you know, look at things. They have documents scattered all over the place and stuff like that. And then also, I think the worst part was not really Meow Wolf's fault. Fault. I'm thinking of two different words at once. I mean fault. The worst part was not really Meowwolf's fault, but there were a lot of people gathered around like the computers that they had, and they would spend forever just looking through everything on the computers. And I think the main issue was they had videos on the computers that were like, I think up to like 10 minutes long, probably a little bit less than that. But the worst part was just like waiting for people to watch the entire videos the whole way through. Like, I would stand over people's shoulders just waiting. Because I would walk up to people and I was like, can I use this after you? And they were like, yeah, sure. And then they would sit there for like 20 minutes. And I was just standing there. Yeah, a little menacingly, probably. So a lot of the files and stuff I read over people's shoulders because I was like, I don't want to take up a ton of people's time. I don't want to be rude like everyone else. In the videos, I just like skip through them because I was like, I'm not gonna sit down and spend like 30 minutes watching videos. Yeah, as soon as people started coming in, it was like it did not stop. Even though it was a Tuesday, so I was like, why are there so many people on a Tuesday? Maybe they should have used a bigger screen. Well, like, they had a ton of computers, it's just there were so many people gathered around each of them. And also, there were some story elements that you could, like, activate. And it did get kind of annoying because there were people activating those things, like, every, like, 5 minutes. Sometimes even less than that. Because there was this big office room. I don't know if I really took any pictures of it. I probably did, but I'll show them later. There was this big office room, and every time someone activated like the story feature in that room, all the lights would go off. Or like the lights would get really dark, and all the phones in the room would ring at the same time. First few times it happened, I was freaked the fuck out because I didn't know that was gonna happen. And then like the next few times it happened, I was like, okay. And then after a while, because you know, I had to spend a while in the room just waiting on people to get done on the computers. After a while, I was like, man, it's kind of annoying every time these fucking phones go off. Which, I mean, overall, I did have a lot of fun. It did make me feel a little bit like a little kid because I had to like run around and do stuff. Because I did pay $3 extra to get the card that lets you access more of the story. Sadly, co-op play is not great for the public. True. Especially with those giant ears. Yeah, I can hear a lot. Which, I mean, everything else was pretty cool. And there was also some other kind of story element that happened in the main grocery store area, which is the same one as the picture that is on screen. And it was like, you know, hackers taking over the main store. But it got to a point where like every few minutes that would happen. So it wasn't really as impactful every time because it was like, oh yeah, the lights are just going dark again. As usual. As usual. I'll have to put this on my own itinerary for my own trip. It's really fun. It's a lot of fun. I think it is worth it. When a vampire isn't the weirdest thing walking in Las Vegas. That's what I'm saying. Like, it wasn't that odd for me to be there. So there was also like a factory area, which they used to have a slide in Omega Mart. When I went, it was like sealed off. I don't know if they don't let you do it anymore or what. But like I said, it was like sealed off, so I couldn't do the slide. I just had to walk around. The constant hacker attack sounds funny as hell. It kind of was, but only for a little bit. The factory area was really neat. It's just, the issue was I almost feel like there weren't enough staircases to get up and down in like this main factory area. So I would like run into little kids on the stairs. And I'd have to be like, excuse me. And you know, they're kids, so they don't really want to move. I don't think it was just closed. Like, it was straight up sealed off. Like, you could not go down it. Your ears are nice to look at. Thank you, thank you. Pythea and kids just don't mix. They really don't. I feel like a lot of the kids that I saw were very rude in Vegas, but I think the issue is a lot of people, especially in Omega Mart, they would just like send their kids off and expect the employees to babysit them. And it's like, that's not what they're there for. They're there to like talk to people about this story and immerse you in it, not watch your kids. All kids are rude. Not all of them, just some of them. I saw a lot of bad parenting choices in Vegas. Like, this was later on, but I saw some parents taking their little bitty kids into the Saw escape room. And I was like, oh my god, you're gonna traumatize your children. Like, oh my god, maybe the Blair Witch one I can maybe see because it wasn't that bad, but Saw? That's gonna terrify your kids for life. I can see parents seeing this and dropping their kids off thinking it's a park. Yeah, I feel like that's what a lot of parents kind of thought it was. They don't know what's going on, they'll be fine. I don't know, I didn't do the Saw one, so I can't really speak on how scary it was, but from the pictures, it just doesn't look very fun. So the one whose parents took them to Hooters, that wasn't really my choice. And besides, I feel like Hooters is a bit different from like a Saw escape room. My dad let me play Manhunt on his PC when I was 8. But anyway. I had a lot of fun at Omega Mart. I think this might have been like Wednesday. I went to the Luxor, which is like that big pyramid-shaped hotel that's Egyptian themed. Let's see, here it is. It's kind of weird because the inside is a mashup of like this Egyptian-styled architecture and then modern architecture. And as you can see, the casino is just like kind of shoved in there. Which, I mean, it was relatively nice looking, but it was kind of weird because there was a bunch of stuff just kind of shoved in there. I went to the Titanic exhibit that they had. Bass Pro Shop Pyramid, unfortunately, no. I did not get a gambling addiction. But like I said, I went to the Titanic exhibition. I didn't take a ton of pictures because, like I said, I felt kind of rude taking tons and tons of pictures. But I did take a picture of something that I thought was pretty neat that they had, because they actually had a piece of the Titanic in there, which I thought was super cool. I don't know why I'm fascinated by the Titanic, but every time like I see something about it or see some kind of like exhibition about it, I'm like, I gotta go see that. So this is actually like a piece of the side of the Titanic that they recovered, and they have it on display in the Luxor now for whatever reason. It's a pretty big piece. Like, I don't think the picture does it justice. It is pretty big. And you know, this is just one little piece of the Titanic. So that shit was huge. You should go to Chicago. The issue is I'm scared of all the crime in Chicago. But I have thought about it. I have thought about it. Imagine if it was the door of Jack and Rose. Which, I mean... I don't know if it's doxing to say this, but my family is in some way related to the Titanic. I won't say in what way exactly, but a part of my family's story is revolving around the Titanic. Has something to do with the Titanic, I guess, would be the best wording. So maybe that's why I'm so, like, fascinated with it. You were the iceberg. Nothing like that, nothing like that. Must get going now since I'm sort of stuck in a D&D. Alright, have a good night. Thank you for stopping by. Chicago's pretty chill downtown anyway. I mean, it's not super far from where I live, I guess. So I guess I could go eventually. I was Jack. No, nothing like that. Like I said though, I do think it's interesting because there is that like family connection. Are you going on the Titanic too when it's done? No. Like I said, my family is like related to that. Why would I risk it again? I feel like I'm cursed now. It just would not be a good idea. And a lot of my pictures are really out of order, but I think also on that day I didn't have anything else to do really, so I went to the aquarium in Mandalay Bay. I did go on a cruise ship once actually, so I have gone on a cruise before, but it was just to the Bahamas. It is actually not on my dad's side. It is on my mom's side, the family. Is this okay? Didn't be good. There it is. I took a lot of fish pictures, but I'll just show like one. A lot of the sharks got really close to the glass. It was a neat little aquarium. I was kind of expecting it to be a ripoff because a lot of Vegas stuff is. It's not a fish. Yeah, I know, it's a shark. They did have a touch pool in there, which I thought was neat because I haven't been to a touch pool in years. So I went in there and I, like, you know, felt some of the stingrays. I didn't realize they were so slimy. Like, I hadn't, like, actually touched anything in a touch pool in years. Because I think the last time I did one, I was a little kid. And I don't think I actually touched anything. I just, like, stuck my hand in there. But this time around, I actually got to, like, pet the stingrays. And I was like, oh, they're kind of slimy. I did wash my hands before and after. Yeah, all those little kids putting their hands in there, probably not great. But I mean, it was neat and it was fun. It was your hand that was slimy in the first place? Come on. Come on. I heard there was a lion zoo in Vegas. I don't know if there's any zoos in Vegas. I didn't really look for one. Slimy rays. I feel like that'd be kind of a strange name to have. But like I said, it was a neat place. And I had wanted to go to an aquarium for a while. So, you know, I got my aquarium fix, at least for now. And Mandalay Bay itself was nice. I don't know, I feel like it's just kind of, you know, it's a nice hotel. It's like the generic nice hotel, I feel like. Because all the other super nice hotels are pretty themed. Mandalay Bay is not really themed, I feel like. Although I guess a lot of the other places aren't themed also. I don't know. I'm not really like a super nice hotel connoisseur. And let's see, what else is there? I have pictures of right now. I have pictures of Excalibur. I took a lot of pictures at Excalibur. Which, I don't know if I talked about this. When I went to Excalibur, so at Excalibur, they have like this show. Mandalay has a fighting game tournament? Continental breakfast? I don't know. I don't think I got continental breakfast. And even if I did, I didn't partake in them. But at Excalibur, almost to the ziplining part? Almost. I know, it's gonna take me a while to get through everything. Because I just did so much shit. So, I went to Excalibur, and they have like this show that has shirtless men in it. And I was walking through the lobby once, and they had like the guys out there promoting it, and they were like trying to get people to take pictures with them. And I was walking by with my friends, and one of the guys was like, "Hey ladies." I panicked, so I just like, I didn't say anything, and I just like ran past them. Because I didn't know what to say. Because I was like, I don't know if it's appropriate to be like, no thank you. So I just kind of ran past them. There were not any femboys, no. They were all like manly men. Which, I did see people lining up later for the show, and it was all old women. Like, I walked by the line and I had to stop myself from laughing. Because the line was literally all just like old women. I was like, okay, I guess that's their main audience for that show. You have to decline them or else they'll think otherwise. Like how old? They were like granny level. Like their hair was like graying and like, you know, dressed like grandma. It was pretty silly. It was pretty silly. And then Excalibur overall, I mean, it's an old hotel. It does show its age, but it's like, it's clean. It's still pretty nice looking. So I don't have too many complaints about it. And also I just really love the theming, so maybe I'm a little biased. And also it connects to a bunch of other hotels, because it connects to like New York, MGM Grand, the Luxor, next to a bunch of them. You know, those are the groups of grannies that do the slots for hours. Probably. I feel like, yeah, I like the older hotels. Tropicana. I don't know how you pronounce it exactly. I say Tropicana. Tropicana was getting like demolished while I was there. Because the first time we drove by it, I was like, whoa, what the fuck is that? The Uber driver was like, oh yeah, Tropicana is getting demolished and they're gonna replace it with a stadium. Or like I think it's like a baseball arena. Whatever the fuck those are called. Whatever the baseball things are. I don't know if they're stadiums or arenas. Probably an arena, I feel like. I don't know. But they're putting an arena in Vegas. And I was like, why would they do that? You're gonna make the traffic so bad. It's already bad enough. The drink? No, the hotel. And did they destroy Tropicana with explosions? I guess it would be a field. No, I think they were like gutting it when I was there. I didn't take any pictures of it, but all the rooms, well, most of the rooms were like gutted out. And then I was walking one night and I saw it, and some of the lights were still on in some of the rooms. And it just looked kind of eerie because so many of them were like just gutted completely. Isn't the World Cup coming to USA soon? Maybe? I don't know. I don't pay attention to like any sports. I'm not really well versed in those. I have a picture of the inside of Excalibur too. Because I went in and I was like, oh, this is so neat. Let's see. Here it is. Which, like I said, you can tell it's old, but it's still a pretty nice looking hotel. I do feel like they should probably update it, but at the same time, I'm kind of worried if they started to update it that they would remove some of the like really old charm that it has. Because I really like the look that it has now. Even if it's still like 90s. But it's pretty nice. Their shopping area was a bit more modern, which I didn't care too much for, but you know, I can't complain that much. Looks very nice, very vintage. That's kind of how a lot of it felt. And well, I went to Santa Fe for a bit. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I was in Santa Fe. Did you take some pics with your besties doing some poses? No. But I think like Wednesday I drove down to Santa Fe. I was in Santa Fe on Thursday. Friday we drove back to Vegas. So I really only had one full day in Santa Fe, and that was when I went to the House of Eternal Return, which I might grab a picture off the internet to actually show the outside of the house, because all the pictures my phone took of the outside of it were very blue. Because it's like inside, but this was... I can drive. I can. This was probably my favorite part of the whole thing. The painting... I feel like it's so eerie. I just like it so much. So I took a bunch of different pictures of it. Here, like I said, I'll get a picture of the actual house on Google, because that's gonna be easier. House of Eternal Return. I'll just steal from the New York Times, who cares? It is a really neat looking place. Like, they built a whole house in there. Oh, and I guess I could take from Meow Wolf's actual website too. A place made just for artists. I feel like there were a lot of little kids. Sorry, where did it go? So this is what the actual exterior of the house looks like. Here, I'll make it a little bit smaller. And like, honestly, the pictures do not do it justice. It looks so much cooler in person than it does in the pictures. Because it actually does kind of look realistic in real life. In the pictures, you can really tell that it's just inside, but it is really cool. I don't know if you guys can tell, I really love Meow Wolf. But I'm just gushing because I wanted to go to their places for years. I finally got to. And I had a ton of fun also. I think I spent like 4 or 5 hours in there. How tall am I? I am 5'8". Apply to become a Meow Wolf sponsor. Be a little silly. But I think I spent more time in this one than Omega Mart, and I think I like the house more than Omega Mart, actually. I wasn't expecting to, but I think I do. There's a bunch of different parts to it. I don't know how many other pictures of it I added, but there's also like the entire interior of the house is recreated. which I think is really cool. Because there's like bedrooms, there's the kitchen, there's a whole living room, and like a dining room. Any silly Easter eggs in there? I did see... Well, I saw a few things, but I feel like they were more related to things that would be personal to me. So I don't know if I should say them. But it was just a really neat place. I didn't add too many pictures from it overall, but there were a bunch of different rooms. Every single Meow Wolf place has like a ton of different rooms to go into and a ton of different areas that all have their own feel, which I think is super neat. And let's see. I took a picture of this guy. There's like a underwater looking section beside the house, which the pictures online make it look really big, and it's not actually that big, but it's still pretty neat. Big Daddy. Only looks a little bit like him. And then there was also kind of a plot point surrounding around a hamster, which, you know, I love hamsters, so I really liked that. The mailbox beside the house, if you opened it up, you could see the hamster inside it, which I think I posted on Twitter. But there were like cards. The one card I could not get to close because I guess it had just been like open so many times that it just didn't want to close. So I just left it open. But they had a bunch of little Easter eggs with the hamster, like the bathroom upstairs in the house. If you opened up the medicine cabinet, you could look inside and see the hamster in it. But I think the thing with the hamster was like they kept reviving it over and over. So it got to be like 40 years old, around 40 years old. Which, you know, if you know the usual lifespan of hamsters, that's a lot. Did you try the toilet bowl? No. I didn't touch the toilet. This place is meant for you? I know. Actual hamster? It's not like an actual hamster. All the hamsters in here are not actual hamsters. They're just like figures that they've made. Like, I think you can kind of see this one's like nailed down to the mailbox. You just missed the biggest Easter egg in the house. There was one part where I was like sitting there reading something and like this group of kids just ran up and started like screaming and like swearing about something, and I was like, okay. There's really no need for all that, but okay. You said revived? Well, that's like the story. The story of the hamster is that he's been revived so many times. But the hamster is not, you know, an actual living being. Bro ain't going anywhere. Like I said though, it was super neat. And I think if you guys ever are in Santa Fe for any reason, I definitely think you should do it. I think it's worth it. I'm forever gonna shill Meow Wolf. I bought a ton of like Meow Wolf merch while I was there also. So I gotta, right? I gotta. But this one specifically is called the House of Eternal Return. And like I said, I didn't expect it to be my favorite one, but I think it's just so neat that it ended up becoming my favorite. And like, there's so many different interesting things in it. But like I said, after I got done there, I headed back to Vegas. And on Saturday, I think I kind of just like explored around because I went to New York. That was the second hotel that I stayed at in Vegas. And they actually upgraded me to a like corner suite, which I thought was nice of them. I was just like, oh, okay. So this is what it looked like. Pretty decent room. You know, it doesn't evoke New York too much, but whatever. Me and my friends kept joking that it was like the real New York experience because of all the smoke and like the hotel itself being a little bit dirty. And also there was security on my floor like all the time, which was a little scary. You just haven't met the rats? That's what me and my friends were saying. Me and my friends were like, we just need some rats and then it'll be the true New York experience. And also the windows here were also super nasty, even though there were windows on both walls. So you'd think they'd try to keep them a little bit cleaner, but you know, whatever. So, like I said, we got there and I think like the first time we left our room, we were going to dinner. We got out of the room and I was the first one out, and there were like 8 or 9 security guards standing outside of someone's room, and the door was like slightly propped open. And I was like, should I like get out of here? I was like, I don't know if I should be here right now. Like, why are there so many security guys? And they were only like 3 doors down. And I could hear a woman like crying. And I was like, And I turned to my friends and I was like, I think we should probably get out of here. So we left the room and like ran to the elevator, which thankfully, since we had the corner suite, we were like right next to the elevator, but it was a little bit concerning. So we got downstairs, and I think my main complaint with New York is just because they still allow smoking everywhere in the hotel except for like 2 floors, which I was staying on one of the floors that did not allow smoking, thankfully. But since they allowed it everywhere, it smelled like smoke everywhere. It was bad. It was bad. And you have to walk through the casino to get to like anything, which is kind of annoying. Like, I know you want me to play the slots or whatever, but it's just kind of annoying when I have to walk through it for everything, even to get to checkout. Like, come on, make a side route or something. And like, my mom had said that she had been there, so I like sent her some pictures and I was like, is this like the same as it was when you were here? And she was like, no. I was like, okay. Yeah, a lot of hotels in Vegas still allow smoking. Must have been desensitized to the slots noises. Pretty much. Pretty much. And after a certain point, the smoking didn't bother me too much, but the worst part was just that it would make my eyes water so much that it almost looked like I was crying. Like, I would get out of the casino and I was like having to wipe my eyes so much, and I was like, I wonder if people think I'm crying. But, a gas mask. I went to the arcade that they had there. They had one of those like off-brand DDR machines, so I spent some time on that. And they also had a racing game that like had simulated motions in the seats. And I was like, okay, that might be cool. And I sat down and started playing, and it started like tossing me around. And I was like, okay. I didn't know it would be this extreme. Like, it got to a point where it was almost hard to like keep driving because I was so distracted by the seat just like throwing me around. It was fun though, it was fun. But then also it was kind of expensive because it was like 30 points or something, and I had only bought like 100 of them, so I could only really play like 3 games before I ran out of points. And kept hitting the wall and flipping. I only did that a few times. Only a few times. I actually got first place, so you know. And also, New York, New York is the one that has the roller coaster with it. Here, let me take a drink. Gotta hydrate. I did go to Omega Mart, yes. Imagine if they had Samurai Showdown. I went on the roller coaster that was at New York, New York, which I was a little concerned at first because I started to strap myself in and I didn't know like how to do this strap and I thought the employees just weren't gonna buckle it. But one of them eventually came by and I was like, thanks. How long was I in Omega Mart? I think I spent like 3 or 4 hours in Omega Mart. It was pretty crowded though. But roller coaster, like we got outside. It started off pretty slow because it goes into a lift at first. And the first thing that I noticed was like, as soon as you get outside in the first area of the roller coaster, it just smells really bad. I don't know why, but like the top of New York, New York, it just smelled really bad for some reason. But we got up to the top of the lift. It was actually a pretty long roller coaster, which I wasn't really expecting. I think it's pretty much entirely outside, just like the real New York. Pretty much. That's kind of what I was thinking. I was like, damn, it's the real New York experience. But the problem that I usually have with roller coasters is like, I guess I don't weigh like the amount that they design the seats to be for. So like I will be on a roller coaster and I'll just like start flying up out of the seat. And I was like hanging on for dear life because that was happening to me. And there was like a loop also and I almost fell out of the seat. I was like, oh, holy shit, what if I fall out of this fucking roller coaster? I should have brought weights along with you. Apparently, should have put like rocks in my pockets. But like I was clinging on for dear life and then we got down and I had sprayed my hair with hairspray because, you know, I wanted it to stay how it was throughout the day. And like my bangs had completely flown back and were like pretty much like glued against the top of my head. I was like, oh fuck, I'm gonna have to shower. And I did. I was really tired because I had driven all the way from Santa Fe back to Vegas, but you know, I did all that. I didn't actually buy my picture on it because the picture was like $30 and I was like, man, that's insane. A single ride on the roller coaster was like $20 or like 25, I think. Something like that. It might have also been $30. But I got done with that and after I did all that, I went to bed. And then on Sunday, I packed my schedule full, even though it was the very last day I had before leaving. So, I don't know if I have any more, like, pictures to show, really. I feel like I should show something besides the hotel room. Maybe I'll just take one of the pictures they have from Escape Blair Witch. You weren't actually allowed to, like, take pictures in it. Yeah, sure, whatever. I'll just take one of these. So, you know, obviously this is not me, by the way. This is just one of the stock pictures that I'm taking. It's probably gonna be huge, because, oh yeah, it's big. Okay. So, On Sunday, I went to Escape Blair Witch, which is obviously a Blair Witch escape room. I was a little worried at first because the outside of it is not themed to Blair Witch or anything. And like, we got there and the Uber driver pulled over and was like, "Is this it?" And I like checked on my map and I was like, it says it's here. Because the outside of it is themed to look like a meat shop, which I think ties in with like the Saw one, but not really the Blair Witch one. Oh, hello, I've been good. And I walked up to like the security guard that they had there, and he was like, you know, "What are you here for?" And I was like, "I'm here for Blair Witch." And he was like, "All right." And so I had to go sit for a bit and then had someone come like fetch me and explain the rules and everything. And, you know, they explained all the rules and we got inside and there were just 3 of us. Because no one else had bought tickets, I guess. No one else wanted to do Escape Blair Witch, unfortunately. But we got in there and it starts off with like a park ranger office, which at first I couldn't figure out how to get the door to that open. And I was like, oh my God, am I stuck on the very first fucking room? And then one of my friends was like, you gotta push on the door. And I was like, oh, okay. So we got inside and the first puzzle was like fixing the power, I think. So we had to do that. We had to figure out like a bunch of codes and everything. I won't explain it like in detail. All right, have a good night. Thank you for stopping by. I was pulling on the push door, confirmed. I wasn't. I was just trying to push it open, but I guess I didn't push hard enough. But, you know, we got through most of it pretty easily. And then we got on a part where we were absolutely stuck. We were struggling with it for like 10, 15 minutes. And then all of a sudden the door that we needed to get open just opened. And I'm pretty sure that like the people running it just felt bad for us and opened it for us because we did not figure it out. We absolutely did not figure it out. I think they just let us through. I mean, there were only 3 of us, okay? So go do an escape room with 3 people. It's not gonna be easy. So we got to the next room. And then we got absolutely stuck again. And after like 20 minutes in there, they just opened the door again. And someone came over on like the radio. They were in universe and they were like, you know, volunteers go through the door, whatever. I was like, oh my God, they feel bad for us. I mean, I did think it was nice that they let us through all the puzzles. Because I think there were quite a few puzzles that we just did not get. And they just let us through anyway. Because we did get through the whole thing. We did beat the escape room. Whether it was entirely on our own or not, but... We actually got to go through the whole thing, which I thought was nice. And they also gave us over an hour, because we were supposed to get just an hour, and I think we got like an hour and a half. So we got more time than we were supposed to. And after we got through like the park ranger thing, there's a forest area, which was pretty well done. I mean, it was a pretty small area, but it was a pretty well done area. And that was also where you met your first, well, where you met the actor, because there is an actor that is in the escape room with you. And he was playing the character of like a hiker that's girlfriend went missing. They did a good job with him. He was a good actor. He was helpful. I could not take pictures. They did not allow taking phones out. You could take your phone inside, but you were not allowed to have your phone out, or like you couldn't be on your phone. I didn't meet the witch. But the actor was helpful. Like, he didn't give away everything, but he also helped us through the puzzles. And like, you know, if we needed an extra person to hold something, he would hold it for us, which was nice. Because there were like a bunch of times where we had like pieces of puzzles that we needed to take to other places, and we couldn't actually like hold all of it, so he would take some of it. There was a part, I will say, there was a part in the forest where you have to, it probably would be a hard job, honestly, but he did a good job. He did a good job. There was a part that did really scare me because I had to like crawl down into a tent, and, you know, to give you guys an idea of what I was thinking, I was afraid that something would like pop out from inside the tent, which I was like, it's impossible. But what if it happens? Or like, you know, I turn around and like something's out there. And I had to crawl down in the tent because my friends were like, Pythea, you need to do it because you're the most like flexible of us. I was like, really? We're all pretty young. So I had to do that, and I had to crawl in there, and they did do a really good job setting the tone. I had to get a camera. Are you also the tallest in your group? Yes, I was the tallest, but they still made me do it. I did fit, thankfully. So I went in there and I had to place down a camera on a book and like line up the Blair Witch symbol, you know, the like stick looking thing. And after I did that, there was a really loud noise and like a big gust of wind, and it scared the shit out of me. And I like scrambled out of the tent, and I was like, I'm not doing that again. And then after that, we did some other puzzle to open a door. There were moments, like intervals, I guess, probably to remind you of how much time you had left, where they would play like, you know, a scary like sound effect. Like, I guess it was supposed to be the Blair Witch. And they would like increase the wind in the room. It was pretty scary. It was pretty scary. And sometimes like the lights would go red also. But then after that, we got to the area that is in the picture, which is the actual like house. It was done really well. It looked really good in there, which, I mean, I didn't focus on the details too much because I wanted to get through, but it did look really nice. And we did quite a few puzzles in there. There was another part where I had to crawl, and it was like this really long corridor that I had to crawl down. And my friends were like, Pythea, you need to do this again. I was like, oh my god. I'm only doing this because I really wanted to do this escape room. So I went in there and I had to tell my friends like certain symbols and what color they were, and like in a certain order also. And what they had to do with that information, oh my god, I gotta take a drink, talking too much. But what they did with that information was they had to take a rope and put them through slots that were numbered, that also aligned with the correct color. And eventually, once they got the rope through all the numbers that matched the color of the symbol, it would reveal a number. And we needed 4 numbers because there was a lock at the end of the corridor that I had to crawl down. So I kept having to crawl back in there because I memorized all of them, and my friends kept being like, what if you're wrong though? What if you're wrong? And I was like, I'm not wrong. And we finally got all of them eventually. And then, so I got the code. I don't remember what it was. It was in my head for a while because it just got like stuck there, but I don't remember anymore. But we finally got the code. I put it into the lock. I tried to turn the lock. Didn't turn. Like, it wasn't that it didn't work, it was just like stuck. It got stuck like halfway. And like I turned around to my friends after a bit of like, you know, jiggling it around and like trying to get it. And I was like, hey, this lock is not opening. And they were like, well, we have the right code, right? And I had to go through all the symbols again and get the code again. And it was the same thing that we had gotten the first time. So like, I guess I am weak to doors and locks. In true vampire fashion. But I even tried moving the code up a space because I thought maybe I had it like on the wrong line or something, and then I moved it back down, and like I crawled back and I was like, guys, it's just not opening. Like it slides to the right, but it doesn't slide all the way. I legitimately cannot get it open. It was just stuck. And finally I got one of my friends to go in there. And like finally she slid the lock open. And we all had to crawl through to the other side where we had to do something to get like jars out of a box or out of a cabinet. And we had to get these sticks that were on chains and put them through holes in the cabinet to get them through like holes in the bottom of the cabinet to get them out. And after we did that, it actually wasn't too hard, thankfully, but we had decent coordination. Thank God Pi wasn't alone. I know I would have been too weak. But we got all that done. We had to place the jars on like very specific places on a fireplace. Got through that. And then we had to like hold doors shut because like the witch was trying to get in or something. And then after that, there was like a scary part where there was like a ton of wind blowing in and like screaming. And I guess it was the witch supposed to be in there. And then after that, the final door opened. And of course, you exited into the gift shop. Which I thought there was going to be more. So when we got out into the gift shop, I was like, huh? Was the witch single? She probably is. Which I did give in and buy a shirt at the gift shop. I did think it was a little funny though, because like, you could buy a shirt from the Saw one also. So I was like, what if you do the Blair Witch one and then you buy the like, I survived the Saw escape room shirt? And you didn't actually. Your reward was a gift shop? Pretty much. Pretty much. What was on the shirt? The shirt that I bought just says like Blair Witch, or it says like Escape Blair Witch, I think. It has like the Blair Witch symbol on it. I don't know. It's a decent shirt. But I did have a lot of fun. I thought it was neat. I thought it was done really well. Like, in the picture you can see, they do have those flashlights that you can bring in, which I thought was nice to, you know, immerse you. Running from the witch, solving the puzzles, escaping the dark in a gift shop. That's kind of how it was. And after I got out, I was like, I really want to know what the Saw one is like. They could hire a guy hiker and not a witch actor. Well, the thing is, I don't think the Blair Witch is supposed to be like seen. Like you never see the Blair Witch in the original movie. I haven't seen the other Blair Witch movies, so I can't say if they show it then, but I think the whole thing with the witch is like you're not supposed to see the witch and you're not supposed to look at the witch. Because also throughout the whole escape room, they were like, don't look at the witch. So the whole thing is that you're not supposed to look at her, so not supposed to see her. And also, like, I was kind of surprised that they didn't make the... Yeah, I was surprised that they didn't make the basement from the movie. Because I thought for sure there was going to be a part where, like, you had to go in the basement and there would be someone in the corner, or, like, the actor would be in the corner or something. I was really surprised that that was not a part of it. But it wasn't. It would have been, like, a 10 out of 10 if that was a part of it. I think it's like a 9 out of 10 for me. It was pretty fun. I did really enjoy it. I had a lot of fun. And like I said, they let us through even though we didn't solve everything. So, you know, that's a big plus. Because a lot of escape rooms, if you don't know, like, you know, how to solve the puzzles, if you reach the end of your time, they just kick you out. They're just like, yep, too bad. I would be surprised if they had something for that plan and they had to cut it. Maybe. I mean, they didn't have a ton of space, but I think with the space that they did have, they did some really neat stuff with it. I think the Saul one is a lot bigger, so I should have done the Saul one because I really wanted to. And now I really want to, even more so. But my friends were like, we don't want to do the Saw escape room. Like, you can do that by yourself. And I was like, I'm not gonna do the fucking Saw escape room by myself. Are you insane? Too much effort. Sadly, they also didn't warn the actors for extra realism. I mean, the actor was... He had pretty decent acting. It wasn't like, you know, insanely good acting or anything, but he was pretty good. This implies Pi got kicked out of a lot of escape rooms. Only like 2. And, well, the first one that I did, I didn't have that many people. I think it was just like me and like 2 other people. So kind of like the Blair Witch one. And then the second one was just like really, really long. Like, I don't think there was genuinely enough time for you to spend in the escape room. Because there were so many rooms in it. But like I said, I had a lot of fun. And then the last thing I did in Vegas was zipline, which I didn't take any pictures of the zipline because I left my phone with my friends because I didn't want to drop it. Because I was like 4 stories up or something. I was a little scared. Let me find a picture of it. It was the Fly Link zipline. This picture shows it during the day. I did it at night, so everything was like all lit up and it was super neat. Zipline out of Vegas. I didn't zipline out of Vegas. I just ziplined across like a shopping area. You'll be able to see it in this picture if I can find it. Oh, here it is. Oh, wait, it's really small. So this is the zipline. It was the Flylink zipline. No. Which also, I don't know why this guy has his hands off. I think you're supposed to keep your hands on the bars the whole time. I don't know. They told me to keep my hands on the bars. So I feel like you're supposed to, but yeah, sure, whatever. I don't have a fear of heights. If I had a fear of heights, I wouldn't go on like Ferris wheels. It is decently long, yeah. And it was fun. It was kind of scary at first because, you know, you go up there, they get you like strapped into the harness and everything. And when I went on it, I was wearing a Tsukihime shirt. That Tsukihime. And I got up to like the part where they start strapping you into it, and the guy that was helping me was like, "Oh, I love your shirt." And I was like, "Thanks." I was like, does this guy actually know what Tsukihime is? It'd be worse to give me skydiving. I don't think I would ever go skydiving. I think it's way too scary. But I was like, does this guy actually know what Tsukihime is? I was like, maybe he just said that because it's anime. I don't know. I didn't ask him anything else about it, so I don't know. Maybe he did know what Tsukihime was. But, you know, I had to get like suited up to zip line. And I was sitting there ready to zip line. And there was like this little bitty kid next to me. He was probably like, I want to say like 5 or 6. He was like 5 or 6 years old. He was this tiny little kid. And he started like bawling his eyes out. And I just had to sit there and like, I was like, okay, this is kind of awkward. Because all the employees were like trying to calm him down. And he was up there alone also. Like his parents did not go with him. I think his parents did come with him part of the way because they had to like sign a waiver, you know. But after that, like I think they left. And he was just there by himself and the employees were trying to get him to calm down, and then he was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this anymore. So I had to sit there, and like me and all the other people that were waiting had to just sit there while they got him out of all the equipment and like, you know, sent him back. So it took a while, but I did eventually get to ziplining. And I was afraid the whole time that I was gonna let go of the bar, which, like I said, I guess you don't have to hold it because this guy's not in this picture. I don't know. But I was so scared that I was gonna let go of the bar and like fall over or something. So we started like going down, and a bunch of people went way faster than I did because I think it was like weight based. Like there was this older guy and he went way faster than I did because I think he weighed more than I did. You get scared of everything? I get scared of new things, like things that I haven't done before. And also, I mean, things like Blair Witch, like the escape room, you're supposed to be scared. But I actually went pretty slow. Like I thought it was gonna be a super fast zip line, but I actually went relatively slow. Which was nice though, because I got to actually like admire the scenery. And like I said, it was at night, so it was neat to see everything lit up and look at all the hotels and everything. And then I got off the zip line, and maybe it gets faster the heavier you get. Probably. I got to like, of course they also make you exit in a gift shop. I got to the gift shop and they were like trying to get me to buy my picture on it because they had made me like pose for pictures, and I looked through them and I really didn't like any of them. Like they just didn't look that great, and the pictures were like, I think it was $38 for one picture, and if you wanted multiple it was like 60 something. And I was like, oh my god, $38? That's too much. That's too much. Like the ziplining ticket itself was, let me see. I still have the receipt from it, so I can still see how much it was. Everything in Vegas is overpriced. Everything. Let me see. Where is it? Here it is. The ticket itself was $60, $59.99. And I was like, that's not too bad. I mean, it's ziplining. So I did that, and then for my final dinner, I went to another pretty fancy place. It wasn't as expensive as Gordon Ramsay's, but it was relatively expensive. It was pretty neat looking though. It was in the like Park MGM, I think. And the Park MGM is actually a non-smoking hotel. So that was really nice because I got a break from the smoke. So here is, oh, this is a big picture. This is the inside. It was a pretty fancy place. I was so scared it was gonna have a dress code, but the dress code was just like smart casual. So, you know, don't wear like bathing suits and stuff like that. It was called the Nomad Library, I think. It was a really neat place. I feel like the pictures don't do it justice. It was really dark in there. But my phone like really brightened it up in there. It's pretty cool though, it's pretty cool. And they also had steak. So let me find the picture of that. Wait, here it is. Wait. So this was the steak that I got here. No, I just need more mods. I just feel like as the channel gets bigger, I need more mods. That's a weird setting for a restaurant. I kind of thought so at first, but I was like, I don't know, it's kind of neat. And all the books were like real. So this was the steak that I got. The thing on top is like, I think it was like a bone marrow crust. It didn't really taste like anything. So I don't know. I didn't really think that much about it. Also, the steak sauce that they had with it was very, very sweet. So like, the steak itself was pretty good, but the sauce made it really sweet. They put sand on your steak. That's what I thought at first. I was like, what the fuck? Is there sand on my steak? But like, the steak itself was okay, but the sauce made it really sweet, and I don't like my steak to be sweet. I like to be salty. So I was like, I don't really like the sauce. Overall, it was okay. And then after the steak, I got a dessert, which was just called chocolate. So, you know, very descriptive. Here, let me find like a good picture of it. So were there any decent steaks in Vegas? Probably. Supposedly there's a place called The Steakhouse in Circus Circus that's supposed to be really good, but I didn't want to risk it because Circus Circus is kind of nasty as a whole. So this was the dessert, just called chocolate. It was chocolate ganache, like chocolate cake, I think is the things on the sides, like, and then chocolate fondant, which I think the ganache is like hardened ganache. I think that's what the things on top are. And there was also ice cream. It didn't say what flavor of ice cream. I thought it was vanilla at first, but I think it was some like other kind of thing. Like, I don't remember what my friends thought it was. Maybe like, not like caramel. Like some kind of nut ice cream. Like almond or something. And I don't know, I really didn't care for it. The taste was just kind of weird to me. Or I think they might have said it was like, no, I don't think it was pistachio. It was some kind of weird flavor. And I just didn't really care for it. I pretty much just ate like the cake part of it and then the things on top and like the other little things on the sides. And I just left the ice cream alone. It was pretty decent. Not really my favorite. I didn't really get like a great chocolate cake the whole time I was in Vegas, which made me a little bit sad because I was like, you know, Vegas, they gotta have great desserts, right? They did have donuts. They did have donuts at New York, which were pretty nice. Not the best, but they were pretty good. Maybe if you did slots, the food would have tasted better somehow. I don't know. And then also my friends had asked about one of the desserts, which was like cotton candy. And the waiter just brought it to us for free. So, I don't know. That was pretty nice of them. I heard the tiramisu is good in Nomad. I did not try the tiramisu. Usually I don't like tiramisu. Which, I mean, I know it seems odd, but I really don't care for it. I think it's like, it's too bitter because of the coffee. And then they also had actual truffle fries. The truffle fries were good. And I know, my loss. But it was pretty good. It was pretty good. For the last dinner I had, it was pretty good. I think the main appeal was just like the atmosphere, because, you know, the library and everything. And I sent pictures to my mom because my mom loves libraries. And she was like, oh, I wish I could be there. I was like, maybe I'll take you here someday. Maybe. But overall, like I said, it was nice. And then I flew home at like 4 a.m., which was not very fun. Or maybe it was 5 a.m. I don't know. Either way, it's not very fun. And then I started getting sick like the morning that we were flying out. So that just was not fun at all. Because I was like coughing and sneezing, like my nose is running. It's not good. There were actually a lot of people at the airport, and like the issue was that the airport employees didn't get there until like 5 a.m. So I had like an hour. Because I think, or no, they got there at like 4:30. But the plane boarded at like 5 a.m. or something. So I had to get through there super fast and then get through security super fast because I had to board the plane. I had like no time at all. And I was like, why do I always choose the early fucking flights? I don't know. I mean, I usually just get them because, you know, if you have like the first flight out, usually they try their hardest to actually get that flight out. So there's a pretty low chance of it being canceled. But at the same time, I don't know if it's worth waking up so early in dealing with all that. Because I got there at the airport at like 2 a.m. and I had to wait like 2.5 hours for the employees. It was not fun. But, you know, that was my experience with the Vegas airport. I think the worst parts of traveling are just getting there and then going back home. They're genuinely the worst parts. But anyway. Nice power nap at the airport. I guess I could have done that. I just didn't feel like it. I think that was all the pictures I had, right? I think it's pretty much all of them, besides maybe like a few doubles that I don't feel like showing. You could drive home. Yeah, back to the East Coast, that'd be like, I don't know, like a 24-hour drive, probably more than that. I didn't really take any rock pictures. Like, you could see the mountains in Vegas, but I just didn't really, you know, think about it too much. Because, like, after a while of being there, you just kind of get used to it. You're like, oh yeah, the mountains are there. But, like I said, it was fun. I had a lot of fun overall. Prefer driving over flying. In some cases, I do. Like, every time I fly, I'm like, oh my god, I hate flying. But at the same time, I feel like driving would be so much worse. Because it would just take so long. But like I said, it was a really fun time. I already want to go back, so, you know, if that tells you anything, then, you know. But I am also glad to be back because I did start to miss streaming while I was there. And then after I got sick, I really missed streaming because I, like, physically couldn't, pretty much. But I tried anyway. And even now, I still can't do some of the things that I want to do, like record some things that I gotta record. Because I gotta wait for my throat to get better. But, whatever. It's fine. But anyway, that was pretty much how it went. And thank you, thank you. I think it was worth everything that I went through. Not built for Vegas. I did have a really fun time. And I know. Thank you guys for listening to me yap about Vegas. I love talking about things that I'm passionate about, so thank you guys so much. I will be working on stuff throughout the week. Moderator applications are open because I figured as the channel gets bigger, I should probably add a few more to the roster. So if you are interested, it is in the community tab. Good luck to everyone. Thank you guys so much. I will see you all again tomorrow. We will be playing... I think we're playing Darkwood, right? Let me make sure. I don't entirely remember. I just made it today, but... let me make sure. Yes, we're playing Darkwood tomorrow. So we're gonna get back to that. Thank you guys so much. Have a good night, everyone. Sleep well. Have sweet dreams. Good night. And bye-bye.